Hey guys, Jared Rosser here. Welcome back to another episode of the SEO Show. In this episode, I'm sitting down with Brian Hahn and we're discussing his SEO agency, how he's getting clients, how he runs it, how he set it up, how he has a team that he manages of 13 people that basically do all the SEO, the web design, and Facebook ads and different services that he offers for him, and really just how he built up his business so you guys can get some nuggets out of it and value to help you scale your SEO agencies and your teams and things like that. So there's a lot of great value in here for really scaling up, building an agency, getting clients, and different topics like that. It's really interesting. Hope you guys get a lot of value out of it. With that said, let's get into the interview. Hope you enjoy. Brian, hey man, thank you for joining me on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
So for anyone that doesn't know you already, do you want to give an introduction as to who you are and what it is that you do?
Sure. My name is Brian Hong. I live in New Orleans, Louisiana. I've been doing SEO since 2002, since about 2008. Been doing agency SEO and kind of have my hand in a few other revenue streams, a little bit of PPL. I'm trying to get back into a little bit of affiliate marketing, but the primary revenue stream, what pays the bills, is the agency. Client SEO.
That's cool, man. We were chatting briefly before we went live, and you were saying that you got started this back in 2002. That's a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. Yep, I was a broke college student trying to figure out how to make ends meet, working 60 hours a week, doing insurance, waiting tables on the weekends, and figured there's got to be a better way to make money. And I had a buddy that made $400 on the internet, and I didn't even know what that meant. He just told me I made $400 on the internet. I'm like, what does that mean? What do you mean you made $400? Then he told me he did affiliate marketing, and I started Googling stuff and started searching around, and I discovered the world of affiliate marketing. Took out a credit card loan on my Discover card. I went to Search Engine Strategies. Back then, I think it was thrown by Jupiter Events in New York. And that's all she wrote. That kind of opened up the door and paved my career, I guess, in this industry.
It's really cool. And what did you kind of mentioned what you started promoting and stuff like that. Can you share what sort of stuff you were doing back then?
So I did a lot of adult products, Cialis, Viagra, adult products pretty much, X-rated products. No porn, but there was penis enlargement pills, just nice. Various adult-related products. Pretty much is how And the reason I got into that was because of one of the speakers that I went to that conference. One of the speakers, I'll never forget him. His name's Todd Friesen. He, I think back then, had a company called Oil Man Production or Oil Man something. I think it's oilman.ca is his website, I believe. Anyhow, he was on the panel and he just talked about how he did extremely well selling adult related products. At the end of the panel, I waited to speak with him and he convinced me that I need to get in that too. And that's how I got into it, just because he was doing it and killing it.
Was that super profitable for you back then?
That was extremely profitable for me back then. I was a young kid that felt like I won the lottery. On top of that, this guy Todd, he gave me I don't want to put him on blast. I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter. It's such a long time ago. He gave me a guest post spammer. Back then, it was a way to acquire links, and it was a guest book spammer. And so I'd be able to scrape the web. And then once I scraped, I could pretty much post a backlink with any anchor text I wanted using this. I mean, it was like my golden ticket. He gave me the niche to get into, and he gave me the tools. All I needed to press go. But I felt like I was just the right place.
It's super cool. Just old school spam techniques.
Yeah.
So,
doorway page generators, lots of spamming, guest book spamming, all that stuff.
Nice. So presumably that didn't work forever because you shifted.
I did. I shifted. I did affiliate SEO, and I figured, wow, I'm making really good money. I'm pretty happy with the amount of money I'm making. But then I had that light bulb. If I'm making a lot of money, the program I'm promoting must be making way more money than me. So I wanted to figure out how to move up the food chain. I wanted to figure out how to get affiliates. And then in 2005, December, let's see, it was Katrina. So December 26, 2005, I created my own diet pill.
Cool.
And I figured out how to recruit nothing innovative. I've never really done anything. I'm not one of the SEO innovators out there. You know, I listen to the smart people like you and other SEO people, and let y'all figure out how to do the hard stuff, and I'll just try to go execute y'all's concepts. But I had my own affiliate force, launched it. I still have it. It's a pretty crappy website. I keep it alive now. I don't think even it works. I just kind of have it for just nostalgic memory basis. It's
Cool.
OptimumHoodie.com, but it's pretty much a site that doesn't do anything, but just there for me to look at every now and then.
Nice, man. And when did you get into client SEO? Why did you decide to get into it?
I got into it because a friend of mine, he said, hey, there's some negative press about my father online. Do you have any? I know he then stated, you know, I know you do some stuff online. Can you figure out how to get rid of it? And I said, I don't know how to get rid of it, but I feel like I could figure out how to push it down. And that was my first client, was a reputation management client. He was a priest. No sexual negative PR, but he was a priest. Bad press on him. And I figured out how to move all his info on the second page, and I created my own assets. I ranked them, and eventually went to the third page. And you know, most of the negative press floated on the third page and on. And then, you know, word traveled. He was happy with what I did. He told a buddy who was a businessman. Then the light bulb went off. I'm like, well, wait a second. I think I can charge for this. And that was kind of my start, client SEO.
That's really cool. It's just interesting to me because a lot of people, I see a lot of people in our industry, they want to start with maybe client SEO, but then I want to get rid of these clients as soon as I possibly can and get to affiliates, so I have to deal with anyone. I can just sit in my room and do whatever I want. But you did kind of the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, I missed affiliate SEO stuff because it's like you bust your ass for 3 months or 6 months, and then you can kind of sit back, travel, and you know, the hardest part of your day is if you do it well, is just counting your money. How well did I do?
Yeah.
So I definitely missed that life. I think the hardest part is for me personally, is kind of transitioning back into that, because I can't ignore all the clients I have. But I want to get back in affiliate SEO. But I'm kind of just stuck in this groove, which is not really necessarily a complaint, because ultimately I love what I do. I have my complaints of things I don't like about it, but my list of why I like it is much bigger than the list of why I dislike it.
Fair enough.
But it's hard for me to transition back into affiliate SEO because of time. All my time is spent managing my clients, and you know, it's kind of my wheelhouse now.
That makes sense. So what is the difference? How is your lifestyle managing all those clients? Are you doing all that yourself? Do you have a team? How does it differ?
So I have a team of 13. We're all VAs. Well, they are all VAs. I have, let's see, London, Philippines, India, Texas, California. That's pretty much where they're all spread across.
Okay.
But you know, I'm a pretty lean operation for what I do. I feel like I'm a team of 13. I don't have a secretary. There's no really sales person. I pretty much wear all the hats, all the project management. I guess it's a pretty busy life. You know, I'm always on my phone checking emails. I've been fortunate enough, actually, out of the clients I do manage, I've set up all the automated reporting just using software.
Nice.
So there's not a lot of phone calls. I do have a handful of clients where I do have that. For the most part, it's not like I have to go out and meet these people or talk to them every single month. It's more often I don't ever talk to any of them.
So what is the phone calls and stuff? Just bringing in new people? Mostly.
What's that?
The phone calls that you're doing is mostly just bringing in new clients?
I'd say my biggest bottleneck is plugging you into my system. You know, just onboarding you, a discovery session, figuring out what you want to do. Once you're plugged into my system, a lot of it is systemized. I use Asana for all my project management. I was kind of inspired, actually, by what's his name? He created SEO cheat guides, Stuart.
Stuart, yeah.
That is. So I actually signed up
but
for Stuart Trier, I think Trier or something. Really smart guy.
Yeah, that's it.
So I signed up for one of his mastermind programs, and he sold kind of a systemized step 1, step 2, step 3 of SEO. I didn't necessarily use what he provided because he used Google Sheets, but I took it and I integrated into Asana, and it was a pretty, for me, it helped a lot in my business because it systemized the process, and I didn't really have to look for super high-end talented SEO people because everything was outlined. I just needed to hire staff, and I could get really cheap wages overseas, and everything was laid out on how to do it.
Sure, yeah. That's cool. What do your team do then? You got 13 people. It's a pretty decent size for a lot of SEOs.
Yeah, so I do the client SEO stuff, and I have kind of, I'd say over 50% of my business is people white label my product and resell it. So I work with a lot of other agencies, and so I don't make as much money, but I don't have to deal with people. That's kind of the nice part, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So on top of that, I have a custom guest post outreach service, so link building. That's kind of why it's slowly grown. So most of the staff members are probably recently a part of that team, the guest post outreach.
Okay. Are you doing PBNs as well, or just like white hat, like outreach links now?
I used to do PBNs. I've moved almost 100% away from that, and I'd say
interesting.
90% of my activity is the outreach.
So I'm just curious, why? What's the meaning behind, why did you decide to shift?
You know, it got frustrating for me. It's like I would invest all this money, all this time, and a PBN would get de-index, or maybe I just wasn't doing it right. There's probably a better way to do it, and I wasn't doing it. But the way I was doing it, it got very frustrating of investing time in the upkeep, and I feel like it took more resources on a monthly basis to maintain and prevent that asset from depreciating in power. And so that led to the outreach, because at first you just build a PBN, you wouldn't have to worry about the SEO hosting. It was pretty simple. And then you have to worry about the hosting, then you have to worry about signals, then you have to worry about the quality of it. And then you ran into, for me, hosting issues, website to be de-indexed, and it was like, oh my God, it's one thing after another. And so that just kind of led to the outreach service.
No, I'm with you completely. Managing PBNs is a nightmare. I love PBNs. But it's a nightmare managing like hundreds or thousands. It's just an absolute mess.
Yeah. But I still use it every now and then. I'll use it as a bridge. So I use Matt Diggity Marketing's. I'll use his PBNs every now and then. So depending on the client, I'll kind of use that as my bridge, because the outreach takes a little bit of time for me. And so I'll just set up and trickle some PBNs using his service and some various other people on all the Facebook groups out there. And then eventually I'll just move into the outreach. So I still use PBNs. I just don't do it myself. I focus my time on outreach now.
Actually, I agree. I think it's the best approach. Even if you want to use PBN, just go rent them from Matt or someone else rather than managing. It's like a separate business, right? Just managing all the sites.
Absolutely. Just more headache than I wanted to deal with.
Exactly. So where do your clients come from then?
I guess I'd say most of my clients are in Louisiana, where I'm at now.
Okay.
Texas, California, Florida, and I'd say the concentration is there. I'm pretty, I think, lucky where I don't really have to look for business, because I've aligned myself with a lot of other agencies, and I just wait for them to send me their business, and they repackage it and resell it.
Perfect. If someone wants to go out there and replicate that, then what would they have to do?
Let's see. How did I get? I go to conferences. I'd say some of the people that I've aligned myself with, kind of these joint ventures, I've met at conferences. There were just deals made from going to conferences, going to the bar, eating, getting drunk with them, talking shop, and then next thing you know, hey, let's try to do something together, and that it kind of snowballs.
Sure. So what you're saying is I can't sit in my bedroom all day and just somehow miraculously come up with all these clients.
Maybe. I don't know. If you figure that out, let me know. Share that secret with me when you figure that out.
Cool. But I agree. Just going out there and actually networking and meeting people, and it kind of happens.
Yep. Absolutely.
Did you start with the white label service, or did you start with just going to like standard businesses and working directly with them?
I started going to businesses. I started, I think when I first got started, I think my rate was like $300 a month for SEO.
Nice.
It sold like hotcakes. I had 120 accounts, but they were paying $320 a month. It was a lot of work. You
managed 120 yourself?
I did. So it was through another agency partnership. That agency grew on top of me. So it was kind of both. This agency gave me on any given month probably anywhere between about 50 and 75 SEO accounts. On top of that, I had fluctuated from about 30 to 50 on my own, just kind of doing SEO for myself. So that's how I would acquire all my clients. Except it was a lot of work. I felt like I was working too hard. It was like $300 a month.
Yeah.
You know, the margins were getting smaller, and I was doing most of the work myself, so I could keep most of the margins. And then it just came to a point. What changed it is I got that one client that was willing to pay me $5,000 a month, and I said, "Whoa, why do I have all these clients when I can just have one client paying me $5,000 a month?" And then I just started firing my clients because I said I need to have more clients, like not necessarily 5,000, but I needed to get rid of my $300 a month clients because I needed to open up bandwidth for some of those larger dollar clients. And that was kind of the shift. So I started trimming the fat, getting rid of SEO, some of my SEO clients, without burning any bridges, very amicably.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's probably one of the shifts that's kind of taken place past two or 3 years. I've kind of gone on that journey trying to flush out some of the super low dollar SEO clients I have.
That makes sense, I guess. Like, my maths isn't that good, but that's at least 10 of the $300 clients. Quite a few more. I can't remember to do the maths in my head. It's 11:30 a.m. I'm not used to this morning stuff.
Yep.
So for the beginners then? They'll hit $300 a month. Oh, that's reasonable. They hit $5,000 a month. I think that's insane. How do you justify those sort of the fees or investments for the client?
Well, it kind of depends on the niche too, and the average.
Absolutely,
so really, it's not like I charged more because you had more money. It's more often the people that have more money were in more competitive niches, like personal injury lawyers, or a national campaign for someone that has a product that targeted more than a hyper local area or even a regional area. So there's just more work to be done, and I kind of expanded. So I didn't do just SEO. I expanded my services, and that led to creating more revenue streams. So it wasn't just SEO. Then I did press release marketing, SEO, custom guest post outreach, social media management, Facebook ads, custom motion graphic videos, YouTube video promotions, video SEO, mass page generators. I also have a web design team. So it's just I offered more, so I was able to increase my average ticket.
It's interesting. I think there's like two different like approaches in our space, in the agency type of space, where one approach is like, I'm going to go super specific. I'm going to work with just this one niche. I'm going to do just this one service and just like hyper focus. And then there's the other approach where you just add in more and more services. And you prefer to kind of just stack more services?
Yeah, so far I've stacked it. I think I'm pretty comfortable with what I think I've ran out of stuff to sell. If there's something to sell, I try to figure out how to sell it, but I don't think there's any more services that I can figure out that I'm comfortable stacking on top of what I already have.
And I guess the rationalization is that they're not just paying you for like SEO, but you're adding everything, so it's more and more money from the exact same customers.
I want to be that one-stop shop. If you want to do anything digitally online, I want to be that solution.
Okay, nice.
Which I've heard a lot of other people argue against, like focus on what you're good at and start narrow, like focus on, like you said earlier, just focus on a niche or focus on SEO. But I guess for what I've done, it's worked for me. So
clearly,
it's
hard I mean, there's
switch.
different ways of doing everything, right? There's no like black and white.
Yeah, true. Yep.
All right, so for your first 10 clients then, because this is the big sticking point for a lot of beginners, how did you get them?
The first 10, I SEO'd my website. If you Google anything related to SEO plus my city geo modifier, I had to make sure I was on the first page. Ideally number 1, but if you're on the first page, that's enough leverage to convince someone else, like, hey, I did it for me, I can do it for you too.
Okay.
So I didn't do much cold calling. I'm not a cold caller. I'm not a pushy salesman. I just got it. So initially, I started an SEO agency, but I couldn't really get any clients. I might have gotten one client every 60 or 90 days, and I'd have clients and I'd go on consultations, but they'd say, hey, great, we like all the stuff you have to offer, sounds good. By the way, can you build us a website, or can you revise our existing website? And I was like, no, I can't. I'm an SEO company.
Yeah.
And then I would tell them, hey, but when you get that done, give me a call back. No one ever called me back. So then I went to Barnes and Noble's, a bookstore here, and I bought a book on how to build websites for dummies. And I learned how to build websites myself. And that way, the next time someone asked me, can you build me a website or can you revise my existing website? I didn't say no. I said yes. And they would be then in my bubble. And then I could easily have that conversation of, hey, now that your website is done, let's do some marketing. And so I'd say that
yeah.
when I added web design services, that was when my growth occurred. That got my foot in the door. That established that relationship.
So it wasn't just leverage having the first page rankings. It was actually like inbound marketing. Like you actually get leads for it and they come to you.
Yep. So that's why I tried taking everything. A logo project would turn into a web project, would turn into a SEO project, would turn into a paid search project. Then eventually they'd want to add video, then YouTube marketing. It would just stack on top of each other. It was a much easier conversation to have.
So, not necessarily. I'm curious actually. Did most of them start with SEO, or did they start with something else then?
I'd say when I first got started, the majority of my business, I'd say over 90%, started with web design. They were just standard dentists, lawyers, doctors, whatever it may be. I want a website, or I don't like my existing website. Let's redesign it. And so I would say yes, I can do that. If they liked what I delivered, then they were very receptive and very open for me to say, hey, let's make your website a lead generation machine now. Let me show you how.
Got it. Was this back in the $300 a month SEO days?
It was.
So what did you charge for web design then?
So back then, my starting price was $1,500 for a website.
It's pretty low also.
Pretty low. I was just trying to build my portfolio and get that experience.
For sure.
I mean, there were some projects I wouldn't even charge anything for the website, but then I would use that as leverage down the road of saying, hey, look at all these companies I worked for. They didn't know how much they paid me, but they would recognize all these local companies and say, oh, wow, you worked with him? Okay, if they worked with you then and you're good enough for them, then I'm going to hire you because you probably are good enough for me. I just needed to start build my portfolio, really.
So you think it helped them when you started going after the $5,000, the multiple $1,000 clients and stuff, that you had this experience and portfolio to show off?
I think so. I think it prepped and primed me for a lot of things. It was a pretty big grind for me. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of customer service. I learned a lot about just patience and how to deal with people. And so that, yes, I think it definitely gave me leverage in getting those higher dollar clients. Because I feel like I made a lot of mistakes. I did a lot of things right and I did a lot of things wrong having those lower dollar clients, and I'd rather make those mistakes with those $300-400 clients than those $5,000 clients. So I saw it as a valuable roadmap for me.
So working with clients then that started at like $300 a month, now obviously much bigger, you must have learned a lot about managing them, communicating with them and stuff like that. Do you have any tips for people? Because I see a lot of people will get like 2 or 3 clients and they basically get stuck working with just those 2 or 3 clients. It's too much maintenance and they can't scale.
Yeah, I guess I set the expectations early. Now, I don't know if I'm lucky because, I talk to a lot of other agency owners, and I just don't have to talk to a lot of my clients. They just leave me alone. I don't know if I'm lucky. I can't put my finger on how I'm able to do that. But for my tracking, I use Agency Analytics. It used to be my SEO tool, and then they rebranded to the Agency Analytics. So I set up all my automated reporting to send, that connects to Search Console. It has a ranking dashboard. I love their development roadmap. It connects to CallRail. It's pretty much become a centralized dashboard to connect all the various dots. It even connects to SEMrush, has an audit. It connects to AdRoll now, your remarketing, Facebook ads. It's a kind of a one-stop dashboard for everything. And you can set up automated reporting to go weekly, monthly, whatever that may be. And so as long as they see that, they feel like I'm doing work. On top of that, really the majority of my clients, I'd say about 90% of them are local businesses. So at the end of the day, you can talk all this fancy SEO jargon. They kind of don't give a shit. Is make my phone ring. Whatever it takes to make my phone ring, that's what they're looking for. They're not looking for, oh, you built me a new link. Well, they care more about what that link's going to do for them, not the actual acquisition of the link. So I got rid of all my reporting, and I said, I'm going to give you what you're looking for, and that's conversions. And so that's my reporting. As long as they see conversions coming in, they leave me alone, I leave them alone. And I can focus most of my time just on working and kind of refining their campaign.
I'm with you, man. I have the same sort of relationship with clients that I deal with. It's just like, you want your phone to ring, like, I can make that happen, just leave me to it.
Yep.
And they leave me to it, they don't bother me.
Yeah.
I think you were right when you said at the beginning that you set the expectations at the beginning. I think that's the huge difference that a lot of people maybe screw up on. I don't know, but I noticed the same thing, that a lot of people are basically complaining that their clients suck and they never leave them alone. They want calls every other day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't really run into it either.
I mean, I've had a handful, but I think I can pretty much still count on one hand how many, I guess, quote unquote, pain in the ass clients I've had. But even the pain in the ass clients, they weren't even that bad. You know, it wasn't so bad. Do
you think it's like a vibe as well? Do you qualify people before you take them on as a client?
I do. You know, I'm at a point where back then I took anything and everything.
$300 a month, just give it to me, I'll take it.
Anything. Just I wanted the business. I was super hungry, and I'm still hungry, but I'm in a position where I can tell a client no. If I get a bad vibe from you, I feel like it's just not a good fit. Maybe we just butt heads or don't get along. Then I can, I'm not in the same position where I have to take every single client that comes along my way. I can say no, I don't. I choose to not work with you. I'm in that position now, which is a great feeling. It's much different because I know the other feeling of, God, I really don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's $300 a month.
Yeah, I get it. I remember I started out as well. It was like, I saw the website I'm in the UK, from the UK, so it was like a £300 website, and I was like, I really need the money, like £300, but it's not worth the weeks that it take to set up a site for like $450, like stupidity. But I was broke and I needed some money at the time. Yep,
absolutely. Yep.
So you mentioned the niche is really important earlier for being able to charge higher prices. You're obviously working with like agencies and stuff like that. What other types of niches do you focus on, even if it's not hyper focused?
I don't really focus on I guess niches. I focus on, I guess, more so organizations that have certain levels of revenue.
Okay.
Because the formula isn't too much different whether you're a dentist, doctor, lawyer, a fitness equipment provider. SEO is SEO, right? Google doesn't say, oh, well, you might need to build a different type of link, but it's still links and content. The formula is pretty much the same, regardless of niche. So I don't really look at, I need to go after this niche or that niche. Is if you have money, I want to work with you. That's my requirement.
So what sort of qualification levels do you look at? Like, they're making like $1 million plus a year. Like, what's the sort of ideal sort of client?
I've tried staying up and kind of brainstorming and what that ideal client is, because I'll run Facebook ads for my own company. I'm like, okay, I need to go after the company. You can set all those parameters in Facebook, the $1 million or $500,000. But a lot of times there are startups not making that much money that still have, if you can easily spend $1,000 a month, I think that's a good starting point. Okay. Depending on what you're expecting. If you're a local business with at least $1,000 a month, then I'm comfortable to help grow your company. And if I can grow your company, then I know we can change that 1,000 to 2,000 to 3,000. I want to grow with you. That's why I don't mind taking those lower dollar clients. And a lot of my clients now, some of them even are the clients we started off at $350, and we've, like one client right now, a dental practice. I think we started at $600 a month, and now we're at $6,000 per month.
Nice.
Just because I've grown with them. And so I don't mind going along for that journey with you.
Okay. Is that adding additional services, or is that increasing the price of SEO?
That's all the above for this particular client. So that led to website. So, I guess my revenue stream is website. That's a one-time cost. I convinced them to do redesigns. And then we have hosting. That's a really, really easy money maker. And then I have webmaster fees. And then I have just web revisions on a monthly basis. And then I have website insurance. So I'll charge for that. And then we have paid search, Google AdWords, social media management, Facebook ads, custom guest post outreach. I do press releases, content marketing. I'll manage their blog, and the list goes on and on. I'll just keep on stacking it.
Okay, I guess that's what the 13 staff are for, like running all this stuff.
Running all that stuff, yep, absolutely.
So are you just involved in sales, client management, and just keeping the team together?
Yeah, I guess for the most part, yeah. I'm still kind of in the trenches with them. I burn the candle on both ends many of these nights. If I'm trying to figure out, because I look at all of this as a process and not a destination. I don't ever feel like I'm
Sure.
going to wake up and think I did it. It can always be better. There's always someone. I feel like there's always someone else out there trying to get a more market share than me, and I just have to keep up with it, right? So
Absolutely.
I spend a lot of time buying tools, buying services. Even if it's a service I have to offer, I'll still go out there and buy it because maybe I'll discover a better way that it can be done. A lot of these SEO communities, I'm on Facebook a lot, reading a lot on all the various Facebook groups. So I'd say a lot of my time is trying to spend researching. I'd say one of the biggest valuable groups I've joined recently is this Have you heard of the SEO Intelligence Agency?
I know of them. I'm not in it, but yeah.
I'd say that's probably one of the more valuable groups I've joined in recent years, and
Okay.
I get the majority of my SEO knowledge from that group. It's been a super valuable and a time saver for me, because it used to be get a golden nugget here, get a golden nugget there, and you're a member of like 20 different groups, and every now and then something really valuable tactic comes out where I've been able to consolidate that and get a lot of my golden nuggets just from one group, which has
Nice.
saved a lot of time, and it's just been made my life a lot easier.
Sure. That makes sense. Cool, man. What is your business kind of split between these days? So you have a few different things. How would you say like it splits in terms of like percentages?
So in terms of the agency, or in terms of like web design versus SEO,
In
or in
terms of like the agency versus like the average link service versus the white label, like.
uh, I'd say these days, the outreach, it's still pretty new. The outreach I started about a year and a half ago, and it's kind of recently picked up traction, I'd say, in the past 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
So that's still the biggest revenue stream is SEO, client SEO, I'd say through the white label. These days,
Okay.
the majority of my business are through some white label partnerships I have. Or not even all white label. So I have some agencies where it's not even white label. They just say this is our preferred SEO vendor. Just
Nice.
kind of, so it's kind of
Is it
those
more like
types
an
of
affiliate deal,
relationships.
or is it just purely just recommending you?
Purely recommending me.
Nice.
They don't even upcharge it or anything. I do some, I guess, quote unquote, a few free things for them, but it's not. I can't figure. I'm always trying to figure out what is their end game. Why aren't they trying to make money off of this? But I don't know. I guess I'm lucky. Right place, the right time. I don't know. I don't want to ask because I don't want to ruin it for myself.
For sure. No, I get the same thing. Not from agencies, but the odd person is just like, oh, we don't target that area, or it's not our ideal niche or something. They just pass it on. I'm like, okay, thank you very much. Like, I'm not gonna
I guess
had it.
they did mention when we first started the relationship, they just feel like it's a value added they have to their clients, so they
Okay.
can be that one-stop shop, so they can stay working with them because they're like they don't need to look anywhere else if they can get everything they need out of this other agency who just brought me on board with their agency.
It makes sense. I mean, like you said, you added web design to stop them going somewhere else and staying somewhere else. But you could just,
Yeah.
if you wanted to, partner with an agency that just does web design, so they send them back to you again afterwards.
Yep, yep. That's actually what I do. I kind of go after those traditional marketing agencies, the web design agencies, the graphic design agencies, or radio media buyers. Those are good people to rub shoulders with because it's usually those people, the clientele they have. They don't have those $300 a month budgets that I used to have. They have a couple $1,000s a month budgets. So
Yeah.
it's easy to have that conversation and say, hey, let's take some of that and spend it on digital.
Okay, and you said
There's
going
not a-
after, and you said most of them come from conferences. Is it deliberately going to specific conferences where you can meet those sort of people?
These days I just go to just a handful, probably 2 conferences a year, probably 2 or 3 conferences. I used to go to Webmaster World. I used to go to SMX and Search Engine Strategies.
Okay.
I'd say these days I just go to about 2 or 3 conferences. The same 2 or 3 conferences I've gone to every year that just, for me, it provided the most value. I'm not a big hard seller. I don't walk around saying, hey, I do web design. Hey, let's do business. Hey, let's do business. It's just really having a drink, eating, small talk, having natural conversation about what you do, what you're trying to do. And I guess business is just born out of that for me. Just
Definitely.
having natural, organic conversation, not being a super pushy salesman.
That's cool, man. I like it. So what are your goals from here? How are you trying to scale things and grow things now?
I'd like to get into more PPL. So I'm trying to get into that. I'd like to expand this guest post outreach service. Um, and I'd say recently, the past few SEO clients, I'm instead of charging them a fee, I'm saying, hey, give me a percentage of your company, actually having a piece of their company without
Nice.
charging them any SEO. So that's kind of any deal that comes along, I'll always try to pitch that instead of saying, hey, instead of you paying me $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 for SEO, whatever that number is, how about you just give me, is if you make money, I make money, is I want skin in the game too.
Okay.
So there, some of them, it has to be a good fit. So like right now, I'm working on a charter fishing company where I'm doing that. Where originally we quoted them $3,000 a month. I said instead of paying me $3,000, I'll absorb that cost. I'll spend all the AdWords money. I'll put up all the money, but I get a percentage of your revenue. I'd rather go that route. That way, I have no income
Nice.
ceiling. I have a higher upside. I eliminate the risk for them. They have nothing to lose because I'll put up all the money. It's a win-win situation to me.
That's
So
cool, man. How does that work then?
So I'll build. So right now, it's different for every company. I've had a few. So I have like a home remodeling company. I did that for out in Texas. Instead of them paying me an agency rate, that was a fortunate situation where it's 3 different people and we each get 33% of the profits.
Nice.
So in that case, it was just a lot of trust. I trust the person taking the calls. I monitor everything on top of all that. So in that situation, I just have to trust the person. When a deal goes through, we use a CRM called Pipedrive, so I kind of see
Huge fan.
where
It's
each
really cool.
potential client is along the process. I guess it's different for everyone. For the charter fishing company, I'm going to use a third-party booking system. I'm going to probably take the deposit, and then when the individual goes to actually go on the fishing trip, they're going to pay the remaining balance to them. So I get the deposit, they get the remaining balance.
Oh, that's simple then.
Yep, that one's a simple one.
Okay.
So I guess it depends on each potential joint venture like that. But that's what I'm trying to grow that more instead of, because I'm pretty happy with the clients I have now. Is how do I grow faster? Is try to align myself with businesses where I'm part of that business, actual partnerships where I have no income ceiling.
That makes sense. It's also less likely they're gonna disappear after 3 months or 6 months because they're like, oh, this other SEO agency said they'll save me $200 a month.
Yep, and it's zero reporting again. I don't need to report to them.
Yeah.
I'm part of their company. It is, if you don't make money, I don't make money.
Yeah.
So we're both in it to win it.
So if someone wants to go out there and do that, is there like legal contracts and stuff like that? Do you need to get like a legal advisor? How do you do it?
So I guess I feel like one day I might learn things the hard way, and I hope I don't. I can count on one hand how many contracts I've actually signed. It's in every single invoice. No client ever signs it. It's been an issue a handful of times, but not bad enough where I need to totally rethink and get a legal team and get this filled out and get that filled out. It just hasn't been an issue.
You just accept it as like a potential risk, like if a client doesn't pay or something like that, just suck it up and move on.
Well, I take a credit card and I put it on file too, and I auto bill every single one of my clients.
Okay,
So
nice.
I don't want to be a bill collector. I use an automated invoicing software called FreshBooks, so
Okay,
that
FreshBooks
handles.
is cool.
It's all recurring. I just don't have to worry about it, really. It sends them the snail mail. I like it too because it connects to PayPal business payments, which only charges 50 cents a transaction. You don't get chargebacks if it's an ACH draft. That's another reason I like it as well.
Cool, man. What other tools? You mentioned agency analytics, CoreRail, Pipedrive, FreshBooks. Any other tools that your business like would fall apart without?
Oh man, I'm a tool whore. You should see my JV zoo. I guess what other tool? I use them all. It just kind of depends. SEMrush, Ahrefs. I've recently canceled my Majestic membership because I use a plugin called SERPworks, which I recommend every SEO person uses. It's like one of those life-changing, super simple softwares.
What is it?
Have you ever heard of SERPworks? SERPWORX.
No, I don't know it.
If you went to a search result, it gives you it pulls in the APIs from Majestic, Ahrefs, Moz, and SEMrush, and so
Okay.
it uses all 3 of those. And then it's a Chrome extension, and so if you did a search and I typed in any search query, it'll expand the actual result and give you
got it,
all
yeah.
the referring domains, H1 tags. It gives you a snapshot analysis of everything. Then if you click on the asset, there's something in the left-hand corner where it'll show you the H1 tags, word count, domain age. It just gives you you don't have to go to every single, you don't have to go to SEMrush. It tells you everything in one spot while viewing the website.
Nice. Cool, man. Any others? Just give people a nice list of resources.
That one's really good. I guess it kind of depends. Like for video, what do I use? Video Marketer. I forgot the name of the actual tool, but it's Ab. You know, I don't even know his name. It's Abba. There's some product creator who created a video marketing tool. Man, I can't remember his name. I'm losing track of who's who. But that I've used that for kind of, I guess, mass, really spamming YouTube.
Okay, cool.
It helps manage channel creation, channel management, taking the same video and syndicating across the web.
What do you use YouTube spam for?
So for just using the same video over and over for service plus geo modifier.
Okay.
So web design company New Orleans, web design company then another city, but not having to create another video to do it over and over.
Got it. Is that bringing clients?
It's kind of a trophy piece. I use it all the time just to say, hey, look what I can do. I kind of lay out all the potentials, and it doesn't necessarily get the client to do that service, but it makes me look like an expert. It builds
Nice.
my kind of, they're like, wow, this guy knows how to do everything. He's the guy I need to go with. Although I'm not going to use that, they just feel like having access to me, maybe down the road, that may be something they want to do. It just positions me as being a bigger deal than I am, pretty much.
Yeah, that's cool. Is there any books that over the years have massively helped you grow your business or give you ideas that changed things?
I don't really read. I read emails. I don't read. I mean, I know how to read, but I'm not much of a reader. I just really, all the reading I do is emails and all these, I guess, SEO kind of communities I'm in. All these webinars and white papers. So the SEO intelligence agency is pretty cool because they have a little packet. They send you a full color packet. So really, what they do is they do testing for you. I don't have to do any testing. I can do the testing, but they'll perform all the testing, and they have it super, super organized and easy to digest and easy to reference. So if you have a question about keyword density, if you have a question about the power of a Web 2.0 link, whatever it may be, they have dozens and dozens of tests they do every single month that I have access to. That's what I read.
Nice.
That's what I spend most of the time.
Cool, man. The typical beginner question that everyone loves. If you lost all your clients, lost all your money, or blah, 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 and you had to start over, you had to say, I don't know, $500, what would you do?
$500. That's hard. What would I do to make money with it? I would probably get into pay per lead, PPL.
Okay.
I feel like that's what I'm trying to get more into right now. I like the idea of getting into pay per lead. So I would say that. Or are you asking what tool I would buy, or where would I invest it? Or...
Yeah. So pay per lead is a good start. Then how would you leverage the 500 to make an ROI?
Maybe try doing a pay-per-call on AdWords to try to get immediate leads, and just do arbitrage.
I was thinking the same
thing. Just make a few bucks. Really, I would sign up with Google Partners, because when you open up a new AdWords account, they give you $150 credit. And so as soon as you create the new account, I would take that $500, deposit it, use a coupon that every Google partner gets. So now I have $650, and
Nice.
I would use it probably to do a little arbitrage, try to get some capital to do something bigger.
Cool. And Call Only Ads, for anyone that doesn't know, is just ads that is only on your phone, right? And it's just the phone number to click. It's no website.
Yep. Just closes the gap in the sales funnel. It's an immediate lead. Yep.
Yeah. Are you using that now?
Yep. Absolutely. 100%.
Cool, man. Is that, I presume that's just for PPL stuff already, like you're already doing exactly what you just said.
Yep. Doing that I have a landscape. I'm still getting, relatively new for the PPL stuff. But
Okay.
so far it's worked pretty well. I'm not knocking it out the park, but it's profitable.
Yeah.
It's enough to keep the client happy and keep them on board and keep them renewing. Sometimes it's that bridge you need for a campaign to mature and for a SEO campaign to launch, you need time. So that buys me time. If anything, that's a good way to buy me time. On top of that, you can make some money doing it as well.
That's actually going to be my next question. Are you doing it in conjunction with SEO and everything? Yeah.
Doing it all. Yep. I would say the main activities the average client I bring on, what I preach and try to convince them to do is SEO, of course.
Yeah.
Then Google AdWords, and then remarketing and Facebook ads. And then if they said, what else can we do? I would say Instagram or YouTube. Maybe YouTube over Instagram, but usually those are the next things I advise beyond that.
It's a lot of services. It makes sense that they're all very effective.
Yep.
Cool, man.
I mean, I just feel like it's easy to convince someone to do that when you're already saying, hey, I'm doing SEO and it's working. Let me introduce other thing you can do. They just have that trust with you, as long as it works. It doesn't always work, but they're more receptive. Their wallets are a little bit looser when you have that conversation with them, if you're doing something that already works.
Definitely. All right, you're in a lot of groups and stuff as well. So is there any, like, kind of, not to be rude to people, but like dumb mistakes you see people making that you've kind of overcome yourself that you'd recommend people not to do or to fix that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Call people out.
Exact match anchors. Stop doing it. I still
Completely?
see people doing it. I personally, I don't do it.
Okay.
I do nothing but kind of conversational anchors, modified exact match, modified branded, naked URLs, contextual links. I just kind of focus on that, on real natural anchors, long tail anchors as well. I'd say that versus in diversity. You know, if you look at the anchor text profile, I feel like it's just the same set being recycled over and over. Either that plus using exact match anchors. I feel like I still see that a lot.
Okay, cool. I guess we can pretty much wrap it up. Any final, if anyone's gonna watch this and they have some like wow, like Brian gave me some awesome nugget or some awesome words of wisdom, what's like a good ending thought to wrap it up? Putting you on the spot.
Awesome. Go follow
Say something smart.
Group. Go follow your group. Go follow your Facebook group. I'm kind of, reading through that. I think that's a good community. I'm a member of the community, and I don't know. All the information you're looking for is out there if you look for it. I've learned a lot through Facebook.
Absolutely.
I see so many paid programs, and I'm not saying they're not worth it because I pay for them as well. But for someone just starting out that may not have the capital to join all these $500, $1,000, $2,000 programs like OMG and so on, they got some awesome groups out there that give information for free. And you don't always have to come out of pocket to learn some of those golden nuggets and monetize and build a business out of it.
Absolutely. So go slack off on Facebook.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool, man. Where can people find you if they want to reach out or anything?
Infintechdesigns.com is my website.
Nice.
I guess that, and then email brian@infintechdesigns.com.
And your outreach service, I guess, is all on there.
So it's a WordPress. It's nothing right now. It's Big Easy Outreach. No, BigEasyLinks.com.
Okay.
It's kind of work in production. It's just kind of picked up more traction without even advertising it, and I've kind of focused on fulfilling all the orders. So building out the website and making that live has kind of been in the back burner while I kind of just take care of all the orders that are coming in without it.
All right, man. Awesome. I appreciate you joining me today. It's been fun chatting.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, man.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you guys next week.